guys, so today I'm going to make that little cornbread you just saw in the picture using my little D Signa mini rice cooker or lunch cooker or whatever you want to call it. Just real quick, I want to show you out my window. Hopefully you can see how pretty that sunset, I mean, you can't, you know, Southern California, what can I say? Look at that. And a lot of times it's purple and pink, it's so pretty, but anyway, just beautiful out there. But anyhow, so real quick, we're going to be using our rice cooker. I'm going to be using a Jiffy corn muffin mix, just to make it quick and easy, guys. I have 1 egg, which is what you're supposed to use. In that, a 1/3 cup of milk, and I'm also going to add some pickled jalapeno. You can use fresh jalapeno, I'll show you that in a minute, but just like 2 or 3 of little slices, I'm gonna cut them up, and then just like a little handful or less of cheese. You can use, obviously you probably want to use sharp cheddar, but I only had mild, and not much of that either. So it's just real quick and easy, and we're gonna put it in here and let it go for about 25 minutes, but let me redo my camera setup here and we'll get started. I am gonna use a rubber spatula because I'm gonna go ahead and mix it in my little pot. That way, well, actually, maybe I shouldn't do that. Okay, I'm not gonna mix it in the pot. I was gonna do that just so I would have one way, you know, one step, but I might have to go ahead and grease that even though it's non-stick. So I'm gonna go ahead and just mix it in a different bowl, and then we'll put it in here to cook, okay? I'll be right back. My kids are a little bit wild right now, so you might hear some of them in the background there. So I'm just gonna get a bowl, and what I love about this, I did it off camera just so it wouldn't make a mess, is when you pop in there, it rips the whole thing open. If you just rip the top off, you're just gonna have to open the little packaging. But if you actually pop your finger in where it says open here, it rips the whole thing for you. So we've got that. We'll get our egg in there. And maybe you could go ahead and just, you know, I usually open this somewhere else so I don't get shell in my food, but I can see there's no shell in there. You might be able to do that just, you know, in the pot, like I said, but I don't know, I'm kind of scared. So there's my 1/3 cup of milk. And I'm just gonna put that to the side for a second. And I'm gonna wait till I put everything in to mix it, because a lot of times with this, you really don't want to overmix it, so I don't want to mix it and then add in jalapenos and mix it again, you know? So I'm going to put in just a couple handfuls of cheese. And as far as the jalapeno, I'm going to be using, like I said, these pickled ones. These are like little spears. And I should have brought out a little something to cut these on. I'm gonna dice those up by hand. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just cut this up in little pieces. I probably would get rid of the little part that goes in the middle, but I'm not being too picky right now. Sorry, that was a little much. Okay, so just gonna cut these little guys up. And if you ever read the instructions for Jiffy, you know, other than just that little amount of stuff you put in there, it tells you to let it sit for 5 minutes before you bake them, or before you know, put them in your muffin tins or whatever, because it says it helps with it puffing up. So for that, to get a higher dome, it says to give it a little minutes of rest. So I'm just gonna let this sit. If you wanna go ahead and mix it in your rice cooker bowl, that's fine. Just let it sit for a few minutes before you actually press, you know, cook on your rice cooker. But I'm just gonna do this. Again, like I said, you can use fresh jalapeno if you want. Maybe a little more cheese. I probably should have put more just because I had medium cheddar or mild, whatever it was. Sharp obviously is gonna have a different flavor. So basically with this stuff, you just wanna mix it through till it's wet, and that's it. So I'm gonna let it sit for 5 minutes like they say, so you can have a nicer domed you know, final product, your little bread. But I'm gonna let it sit and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm just gonna put this aside for a second, and I got my little pot that was in the cooker, and it's very small. So this is I would say this is like a 3-cup cooker, I don't know. I'm gonna use my baker's drawer because I have this and I love using this stuff, and you know, I bake a lot of things. But you guys can just, you know, do a little Pam or just roll in there with some oil, whatever it is that you wanna use. And I'm gonna see how much of this can go in without it getting too full. Let me see here. Because this is gonna rise. I mean, they don't rise like so much that it's gonna be so crazy. So I think I'm gonna put the whole thing. Let's try it. You can do this also with a regular cake mix. Just make your cake mix the way it says, but only put about 8 ounces or a cup of the mix in at a time. It'll probably make you 3 or 4 little cakes, and they're gonna be adorable because they're gonna be like little beautiful cakes. And maybe I'll do a video on that if you guys want to see that. It's, I mean, super basic. Super easy. I always like to get every last bit, but okay. So there's that. And it went up to below the 2-cup line, so it's not super, super full. So now I'm gonna bring over my little cooker. I'm gonna put this guy in here. Now, your cooker, I'm gonna put the lid on. Your cooker might let you press, you know, power, and it might kick into warm after 3, 4, 5 minutes, because what happens is it doesn't have like the moisture, so it thinks it's done, like if it was rice, you know. So you're just gonna time it. Leave it on warm function, that's fine. Leave it plugged in, let it go, and we're gonna do 25 minutes, okay, is what I'm going to gauge for. So I'm gonna plug this in and I'm gonna put it down to cook. And like I said, it might turn off after 4 or 5 minutes, but I'm just gonna let it go for about 25 minutes, okay? And I'll be back at that point. Okay, so it's been about 25 minutes. If I ever came in here and it looked like it was on warm, and if I could hit it back down to cook, I would do that. So just so you know, I was kind of trying to get it back to cook. I'm not expecting it's gonna be done yet, because it just seems like it went to warm really fast, but you know, who knows? Ooh, it's getting there. It's very soft on top, as you can see, but the rest is cooking pretty good. So I think I'm gonna give it another, what do you guys think? 15 minutes maybe? Yeah, let's just say 15 more minutes. So that would make it 30, 40 minutes. Okay, and again, if you want to just cook this, obviously in an oven might be faster, but you know, I didn't dirty up a lot of things. If you have an RV or something like that, like my RV doesn't have a oven, so it's kind of fun to take something like this along with you. But let me, you know, just keep watching it. I'm gonna hit it back to cook and see it. I was able to push it down and it stayed, so I'm gonna give it 15 more minutes. Okay, so let's see what we got here. It's been 45, kind of cute. It's looking totally different, hopefully. You can see now that I fogged up the thing here. Oh, very firm on the top, and I'm just using a toothpick. This toothpick actually is, it's a longer toothpick, but it went all the way to the bottom and it is clean. So, 45 minutes, not really bothered other than looking at it probably 2 times. And then I just kept clicking down to cook. Whenever I would see that it was on warm, if I came in the kitchen or whatever. I guess you probably don't have to do that, like I said, if it's on warm. Now, I said 25 minutes at the beginning because if you were just making a simple cake, like with a cake mix, it's light, it's airy, it's fluffy, it bakes up pretty quickly. This is a little denser and thicker and all that. So I'm gonna go ahead and unplug this because it is done. It might have been done at 35 minutes, I don't know, but we did 40, right? So I'm gonna take this out. Put this guy to the side, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and just let this sit for a minute before I pour it out, because it's pretty hot anyway before I try to pop it out. So it's just like any other baked item, you kind of let it pull away from that's where it's baked. So I'm gonna leave it alone for a couple minutes and then we'll come back and pop it out. Okay guys, still pretty hot. It retains the heat pretty good. I'm just rubbing this around the edge just in case it doesn't want to come out, but let me put out a little thing here. Well, there it goes, real easy. Ooh, look how nice and brown. You know what? Let me get a plate. My husband hates when I cut things on the counter. I'm like, this counter is made for cutting. That's how I see it, but look how pretty that is. Really nice and brown. And the top has a cute little dome shape to it, and it's lovely. It smells really good. Now, that's one thing I didn't smell it while I was cooking, which sometimes when you're making your rice, you can smell, so I thought that was kind of interesting, but oh my gosh, this is so soft. Let me cut into this, and that bottom of it is so nice. Look at that crumb, and look how perfectly. That is really nice. So basically, I mean, it cooked, it doesn't really steam. I guess it's kind of steam because you're not adding liquid, it's just whatever's in here, and this is, wow, okay. Oh, I want to take a little picture first. Okay. I'm gonna take a bite of that, but I want to take a picture with my phone so I can put it on my Instagram to show you guys that I have a video coming. Okay. So good. A little cheesy, got that little kick from the jalapeno, cooked perfectly, nice and moist. So if you guys want to see me make a few little cakes out of this, just like regular cakes, and we'll decorate them, let me know. This is pretty clean. All we're gonna do is obviously wash it out, but wow, it's really good. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you at the next one. Bye now.